He promised us that he would be a counselor, a mighty God and a Prince of Peace. He promised us that he would be a father.
Hello, and welcome to Carrier of His Presence broadcast. My name is Elder Jessie Darrough, co-founder with my husband of Dunamis Evangelistic Outreach. We are located in the R&W Chapel on Wisner Street near Stewart in Flint, Michigan. Our services are held from 9:30 a.m. until approximately 11 a.m. each Sunday morning, and I invite you to join us. For the next several months, I will like to discuss with you how important it is for the people of God to work personally on restoring God's image in our homes, in our personal lives, and our communities. As a guide for the teachings, I will share with you excerpts from my book, While Adam Slept. And I certainly hope that it will bring edification, illumination, and revelation to the people of God, because we need to be mindful of our great salvation. This week, I would like to talk to you about family life and how weakened family structures have also weakened the church. As many of you know, the first century church in Jerusalem turned cities upside down with their doctrine. Signs and wonders followed their ministries. They obeyed God rather than men. And most important, they had a strong, intimate fellowship with one another. But you know, something has taken place between then and now that has weakened the church of today. And I believe it is because the family structure has been weakened. Sometimes families can be so emotionally devastated, materialistic, or denominationally indoctrinated that loving interactions within the family unit are neglected or omitted. Sunday school and worship service is no substitute for altar prayer and Bible fellowships in the home. Along with our children being trained up in the way they should go, they also need healthy emotional support as well. Emotional support is not the giving of things, but the giving of self. And in the giving of self, every parent need to know that there is a balanced expression of love. It is called the 6 A's. And for healthy growth and development, every child will need those expressions of love during their developmental years. So on page 38 in my book, While Adam Slept, those 6 A's are listed. The first A that our children need is acceptance. Children need to know that regardless of their shortcomings, mistakes, and failures, they are regarded favorably by their parents. Words of disappointment should not be directed towards their words of disappointment should be directed towards their action and not their person. A child may have done something disappointing, but it can be expressed that is the child as a person and not as a disappointment, that the child is not a disappointment to the parent. The second A is attention. Children need to know that parents are taking personal notice of who they are as well as their efforts. And not just when the child has done wrong, but by habit and pattern, a child needs regular hugs, special care, and consideration for their unique self. A third need that a child has is affiliation. Every child needs to know their connection to the family is important. Any isolation, ostracism, rejection, cruel mocking, or ignoring one child in favor of another destroys a child's identity and crushes their self-worth. A fourth need of every child is approval. Every child needs to know their parents are satisfied with who they are. To approve of a child only for what they do and not for who they are causes them to not consign appropriate value to their personhood, when in fact they have immeasurable value and it needs to be emphasized. The fifth A a child has is affirmation. Every child needs to hear their parents state firmly and publicly with a big smile that their child is a special treasure, God's poema, or God's workmanship. We create our children's destiny with the words we speak into their lives. So it's extremely important that the words that we speak into our children's lives are words that indicate the direction that we desire them to take. The sixth and final A that our children need is appreciation. Every child needs to get equal recognition for their value, worth, and importance within the family system. Comparing and competing one child against another will create an atmosphere of hatred and disunity. The strong family is a united family because a threefold cord is not easily broken. When any of a child's core needs have not been met, when they become adults, they will display mild to severe emotional imbalances. Have you ever noticed people around you who show no compassion for the suffering and the needs of others? Are harshly critical, mean-spirited, and self-righteous? Are stubborn, self-centered, and have an entitlement attitude with little regards for the feelings of others? Are fearful of saying no, therefore set very poor boundaries with others? What about the hypocrite or the social chameleon who hide their true feelings of worthlessness through arrogance, flamboyance, hype, theatrics, scripture quoting, and grandstanding? And the list can go on and on and on. And all these behaviors are indicative of emotional imbalances that are linked to the absence of the core needs that every human being has. Too many Christians are allowing their emotional state to rule their spiritual state. Like the first century church, let's restore healthy fellowship within our families for the kingdom of God. Do you want your family so united that they can turn cities upside down with anointed messages about our soon coming King? Let us proclaim spirit-filled messages of love to our families without offering them emotional imbalances. They don't want it, and the kingdom of God don't need it. So today, challenge your inner self. Even if you never experience the acceptance, attention, affiliation, approval, affirmation, and appreciation you feel you deserve, then rise up with bold determination and give it to yourself today. Draw on the volume of your inner wealth and give yourself the true expression of love you have never had. Something else I would like to share is the importance of a support person in your life. Sometimes we can come out of such dysfunction and so much pain that a support person is very important, someone that we know we can rely on, someone that we know we can get godly counsel from to help us to strengthen ourselves, and which in return, of course, helps us to strengthen the family unit. So what I did was on page 94 in my book, While Adam Slept, I listed 4 types of support people. And they are very essential to our journey of self-discovery. Trusting our perception is honorable, but because of soulish scarring and so many unmet needs in our heart, we need accountability to someone who has proven to be honorable and trustworthy, someone that we know we're able to share some of our deepest and darkest secrets with, that would be able to love us and accept us in spite of. Sometimes what we believe God have put in our hearts to do is actually that old unregenerate self rearing its ugly head, demanding its pleasure. So depending upon our level of health, we can miss understanding that something is what we actually desire as opposed to something God would desire for us. The wisdom of a support person is one of our spiritual protectors from that tricky faith, from that tricky fate. They are priceless in shaping our character for kingdom living and help us to overcome some of our blind sides and some of our emotional imbalances.